Let's speak about your inner Machiavelli. Not the tyrant, not the caricature, but the strategist. The part of you that sees the power dynamics in every room, the part that doesn't feel the need to perform or negotiate with expectations. It knows exactly what you want, and it knows exactly what you are capable of. Today, we are going to look directly at that part.
You see, your shadow self is not an evil that needs to be vanquished. It is a form of honesty you have probably learned to avoid. It's an uncomfortable truth about your own capacity for influence, for strategy. The fear isn't really about becoming a monster, is it? It's the fear of finally admitting to yourself what you truly want and the power you hold to get it. It's the fear of self-recognition.
And here is the paradox. The parts of yourself you try to push into the dark, they don't just vanish. They distort. They leak out sideways. An unknown shadow acts without your permission, as a slip of the tongue, a sudden moment of sabotage, a quiet, simmering pattern of resentment. Conscious power, on the other hand, waits for your command. Pretending you don't have this capacity for darkness doesn't make you a good person. It doesn't make you safe. It simply makes you predictable. This denial creates a pattern of self-betrayal, where the very power you refuse to claim ends up claiming you through consequences you never intended. This unclaimed power has to go somewhere, so it expresses itself indirectly. It shows up as passive aggression, or as that quiet, burning resentment for those who seem to use their power so freely. And sometimes it even learns to disguise itself as virtue. We call it being nice, saying yes when every fiber of your being means no. Not because you are kind, but because you are afraid of the conflict your own truth might create. So, you see, the problem was never your capacity for darkness. The problem is your lack of a relationship with it. It is the absence of self-awareness that allows power to curdle into toxicity. Let's make that distinction perfectly clear. On one side, there is unconscious toxicity. Think of a manager who uses guilt to get their team to work late. That's unconscious manipulation, and it's compensating for a deep insecurity about their own authority. It seeks control. But on the other side, there is integrated power. This is the manager who says clearly, "This is the deadline, I need you to stay, and I will approve the overtime." That is intentional influence. It protects boundaries, it seeks clarity. The only difference between the two is self-awareness. To integrate this power, you must first be able to see it clearly. The shadow isn't some chaotic, singular thing. It has distinct forms. Each has its own function. Let's map them. First, there is the predator. This is your core instinct for strategy, for survival. It's the part of you that can walk into a new environment and instantly assess the power dynamics. If you deny it, it turns against you. It becomes paranoia, social anxiety. But when you integrate it, it sharpens into discernment. The ability to see situations and people for exactly what they are, without illusion. Second, the rebel. This is your instinct to break the rules that are holding you back, the rules that no longer serve your growth or your integrity. If you deny it, it becomes self-sabotage. You start breaking your own rules, missing your own deadlines. But when you integrate it, it becomes true innovation. It becomes the courage to challenge a system that is inefficient or unjust. And third, there is the sovereign. This is your instinct to lead, to direct, to be the author of your own life. When you deny this, it distorts into its opposite, people-pleasing. You allow others to dictate your choices. But when you integrate it, it becomes true authority, a calm, centered confidence to command your own existence. So, how do we begin this work? Well, integration is not a mystical process. It is the practical art of unflinching self-honesty. It's a quiet, daily commitment to seeing your own motives without judgment. And it begins with a few simple, but not easy, questions. Let's start right here. Consider, just for a moment, in what areas of your life are you performing powerlessness? In your career? In your relationships? Just observe the feeling that arises as you ask. Don't judge it, just notice it. And now, a second question. Who in your life or what systems around you actually benefit from your power remaining unclaimed? The answer may be uncomfortable. It may also be immediate. Again, just observe. And finally, what capacity for strategy, for influence, for authority exists within you that you've simply never given yourself permission to explore? What could you actually accomplish if you were no longer afraid of your own strength? There is a framework for this practice. First, name it. Is this the predator? Is this the rebel? If you can name it, you can negotiate with it. Second, understand its function. Your resentment isn't just a bad feeling. It's a signal that a boundary has been crossed. Its function is protection. Third, give it a job. Unassigned power is always destructive. So tell your predator to analyze a business contract, not your friendships. Tell your rebel to innovate on a project, not to sabotage your sleep. And finally, keep it on a leash, not in a cage. A caged animal grows violent. A trained shadow becomes a loyal and powerful ally. This work leads somewhere. It leads to a state of being whole. It's where your strength and your direction are finally unified. It feels like calm. It feels like clarity. Because power without ethics is corrupt, but ethics without power is helpless. Integration is the union of the two. And this is the paradox we leave you with. The real danger was never in the darkness itself. The danger was always in the pretense that it didn't exist. Awareness is the source of responsibility, and responsibility is the only source of true safety. So the goal here is not to become a darker person. It is to become a clearer one, to stop running from your own capabilities and to stop abandoning your own power at the first sign of discomfort. When you do this, you become someone who cannot be easily manipulated because you finally understand the game. You become whole. You become sovereign.